What up is me, Prez, and in this chess game of life, you're going to need some OG moves. Welcome to my Men's Improvement channel. Like the video and subscribe. So, you're average at best. A phrase made popular by the late, great Kevin Samuels himself. And my surprise came from how women don't like to be called average, okay, when most people are average. But in this day and age, every woman is a 10, okay? So I wanted to come up with a metric system that proves where you are on the average scale. So are you below average, average, or above average? There's only three criteria, okay? And how I am judging this is below average doesn't get a point. So it's 10 categories, okay? So if you are above average in each category, you are a 10, okay? Because it's 10 categories. You get 1 point if you're above average in that category. And you get a half a point if you're average, and you get no point if you're below average. All right? So I'm not going to quote all my sources where I got my information from, but they are from credible sources like the CDC.com or DOL.gov. You can check those out yourself. Quick search, you can find all this information that I'm about to give you. So, the average woman. So we got to figure out what's the average woman. Okay, so the average race is a white woman. Okay, I don't know why I started with that, but the most common woman you will run into in America is a white woman. Next will be Hispanic. After that is black, then it's Asian. So, if we was going to give this a point, I guess being white makes you average, because that's pretty much the majority of women in America. So, we're going to come back to that. I'm not sure. So how do you lose a point on that? You know what? What we're going to do is I guess you have to be rare then. So if you are Hispanic, black, or Asian, not to sound racist or nothing like that, I guess you're above average, because you can't go below average on race. So you're either exotic or not. Okay, so if you're white, you're average. That's a 0.5. Man, that kind of fucks up the whole scale for real. Because that means a white woman can't be a 10. That's crazy. Well, we can adjust the scale, but we're gonna go with that for right now. So if you're the most common race of woman in America is a white woman. So that makes you average. And if you're any other race, you're above average. Okay, because you're less common. Oh, okay. Hey, I got the information right here. All right, and I'm just going off of it. It's like a raw reaction. All right, so to my own information. Wow. Okay. Well, my own sought off information that I'm giving to you. So, okay. So next, the average height of a woman is 5'4". Okay. So, studies say that men prefer a woman that's not above 6 feet. So if you're a woman above 6 feet, you're below average. You're not what most men will want. Because this isn't a dating situation. Also, your ranking. If you're above average, below average, or average. Okay, so 5'4" is the average height of a woman in America. So, if you're above 6 feet, you're below average. And I would say most women are small. So below 5'4" would still be in the average range. Okay. Above average would be, I would say, 5'5", between 5'5" and 5'11". Let's say that. Okay. So if you're below 5'4", and if you're 5'4" and below, you're average. If you're between 5'5" and 5'11", you're above average. And over 6 feet, you're a below average lady. All right. So next, we got weight. All right. So a lot of this stuff is superficial, but we don't know the person who you're looking at. Okay. So that's what I'm going off of. What you see, how would I rank a person that I don't know that I'm just looking at? So we got weight here. Okay. A very sensitive subject for a lot of people. And the average woman weighs 170 pounds. All right. That's a big lady. I'm just letting you know. 170 pounds. Oh, I wear it well. Okay. All right. You're not fit. I'll have to see you. Okay. Also, and all because the fat landed in the right places don't mean you in shape. Okay. You're in a shape. All right. So 170 is the average weight of a woman in America. Wow. Okay. And as a personal trainer, I knew that. It just blows my mind all the time. So to be below average, you have to be above 170. So you're 170, you're average. I'll give you from 160 to 170, you're average. That's a nice little average range. If you're above 170, you 171.3, you're below average. And anything below, you know what? 160 is still a nice size of a lady. Okay. So I'm gonna say, me personally, as a personal trainer, I'm gonna use my professional opinion on this. 150 and above, 150 and below, 150 to 110 is above average. If you below 110, I gotta see you. If you're a grown woman below 110, I gotta see you. Yeah. So if you're a woman between 110 pounds and 150 pounds, you're above average. 160, that 150 to 160, that's limbo area. You know what I mean? We're gonna let you get back right or fall out of shape. You know what I mean? That's your little cushion. Okay. 160 to 170 is average, and if you're over 170, you're a below average lady. Let's continue. We try to figure out what's the average woman. All right. And then I'll go back over this on what's the criteria of an average woman. So, breast and cup size. We're going to go cup size. The average woman's breast size is a 34 double D. All right, so big titties ain't even, big titties is normal, okay? Makes sense, though. It makes sense. I mean, you got to feed babies with them. Shoot, they get full. Shoot, they pretty much just bags of fat. Excuse my language. Not really, but that's what they are. Y'all, one woman to say that. Tissue, fatty tissue. I get it. So big titties are common. So 34 double D's is the average breast size. But survey says a C cup is most liked. I mean, C's are nice. Hey, I mean, it makes sense. Okay, 34 double D. That's just what every girl got, A lot of women are 170. So their chest should be a little bit bigger. So I guess bigger bodies, bigger titties, I guess, So C is the most liked. So if you got a 34 double D or bigger, you're average. How about that? You know what I mean? Shit. Big girls got big titties. If y'all big, you big. So if you got a C cup, in the C cup range, you're above average. And a B and an A is below average. Okay? It has to be. Because if 34 double Ds are the biggest, or the most common, not the biggest, it's dubs, it's the biggest. If it's the most common, then B's and A's are least common. So that's below average. And I can attest to most men that we like bigger breasts. We like all titties, please believe it. Little titties matter. But bigger the better, C's is good. C, I'm going to say C's are perfect. As a man, I'm going to say C's are perfect. All right. So on to the next. Waist size. The average waist size of a woman is 38.7 inches. Damn. Because shit. Let's say what's the required? What they say? 36, 24, 36. So the waist would have been 24. So the model criteria would be 24 inch waist. But the average woman's waist size is 38.7 inches. That's a lot. That's a lot more. So if you got that big old 38.7 inch waist, you're average. Anything above that is below average. We got to admit that. And anything below 38.7, we're going to give you above average, because for that to be such a big number from the ideal, and women like this number, 36, 24, 36. I mean, it's aesthetically pleasing. I think it's that. It's the hourglass shape. And as men, we are the connoisseurs of women. So what we want matters. And that 36-24 is what we want. So you're pretty far off with a 38.7 inch waist. So next would be the hips then. So the average hip size of a woman, so it's only 10 categories. I'm going through all of them, okay? The average hip size of a woman is 40 inches. So I think the 36 is the breast, 24 is the waist, 36 is the hips. So if the average woman's hip size is 40 inches, 40.2 inches, matter of fact, that's pretty far off from that 36. Geez, so the waist is bigger and the hips are bigger. And not, the waist ain't, okay, so the 24 inches is 12 off from the 36 hips. But man, shit, the hips are bigger than are bigger than the waist. Of course, yes. All right, I'm just looking at my numbers. All right, bitches getting big these days. I'm just saying, from the 36, I'm just 36, 24, 36. All right, we just got 34, 38, 40. These numbers are off and they're bad. Okay, so, but on to the next. So, most common hair color. So, again, for the hip size, the most common, the average woman's hip size is 40 inches. So, We got to go closer to that 36. So if you're below 40 inches, you're above average. If you're 40 inches, you're average, and above 40 inches, you're below average. Okay. So the next we got is hair color. The most common hair color is black hair. The least common hair color of a woman is red hair, natural. Okay. So if you got black hair, you're average. And if you have, and red being the least common hair, I would say is rare. You can't, well, you know what? We're just gonna use those as notes, okay? The most common hair is black. The least common hair is red. All right. The most common eye color is brown, and the least common is gray and or hazel. Okay. So we're gonna take those two off. So we got 8 right now. But I also have 2 other categories. And we'll get to those. So the average, so we're still on, so we had 6 categories so far. So the average woman makes about $43,394 a year. That's what the average woman makes. So if you're making that, you're an average woman. I'm going to say men would prefer you to make less, because a woman that makes more expects more out of more men. Not even their men, more men. You know what I mean? They expect that every man should be doing what they doing, they think, some women think their money matters to men, which it doesn't. So since money doesn't matter to men, the more you have, the below average you are. Sorry. And the least if you're over $43,394 a year, you are below average. If you got $43,394 a year, you're average. And anything below $43,000 a year is above average, if you're talking about women. All right? That's 7 categories. 8. The average woman has 1.7 kids, which means the majority of women you come across is going to have 2 kids probably, okay? You're going to run into them women that don't have any kids, of course. But most women have 1.7 kids. So most women have 2 kids. Just think about all the ladies you know. How many have 1 kid? I'm going to say I don't know too many women that only have 1 child. And I'm going to say the majority of women I know have children. So I feel that's accurate. So the more kids you have can't make you above average. So if you have more than 1.7 kids, so if you have more than 2, if you have 2 kids or more, you are below average. 1 kid is average, and no kids is above average. All right. So that's only 8 categories. So I took 2 off. But I have 2 other categories. It is, so you know what, we're gonna go through that 8, and then I'm gonna add these other 2 at the end. So the average woman is a white woman who's 5'4", 170 pounds, with a 34 double D breast, 38.7 inch waist, 40-inch hips, that makes $43,000 a year and has 1.7 kids, 2 kids. Okay, that's the average woman. Recap: white woman, 5'4", 170 pounds, 34 double D breasts. Waist size is 38.7 inches. Hip size are 40 inches. They make $43,000 a year, and they have 2 kids. That's the average woman. You're average at best. All right? So, like I said, now, to be above average, now, okay, so I got 2 more categories also. So, since women want to talk about education, I put education on there. All right, and what the average field for a woman to get a degree in is social work and healthcare administration. And well, shit. Okay, so it's social work, healthcare administration, and anthropology. All right, those are the 3 tops, and nursing coming in 4th, and human resources is 5th. Okay, if you have one of those occupations, you are the average woman. And I would say if you have anything else out of that, anything, because those are the most common women fields, you're below average. Because I would think if you had no job, that would be above average. Because how you living with no job or no education? Let me think. No, so a job and education is different. So I'm gonna switch that up. Okay, so the most common majors for a woman is social work, healthcare administration, and anthropology. That's the top 3. Nursing and human resources is 4 and 5. So, if you have a degree in any of those fields, I would say that you are an average woman. And if you have something in the STEM field, I would say, because that's not on there, you are an above average woman. And if you have no degrees or majors, you are a below average woman. I'll take that. So, and the most common occupation for a woman, and they're very close. Like from the this is the top 4, and there's only about 10,000 that's separating. Hello? Hello? Okay, I was echoing, y'all. About 10,000 women separate this stat. So, cooks is 1, teachers assistants is 2, social worker is 3, and waitresses is 4. Those are the top 4 occupations for women. So, if you got one of those occupations, you're an average woman. No job, you will be a below average woman. And anything outside of those jobs, you might be above average woman. Okay, so let's go back over this. Geesh. So if you're an average woman, you either your major was a social worker, healthcare administration, anthropology, nursing, or human resources. Those are one of your jobs if you're an average woman. That's your major if you're an average woman. If you're in your occupation, you have to be a cook, a teacher's assistant, a social worker, or a waitress. And then, in this woman with that major and that job, she would have to be a white woman that's 5'4", 170 pounds, with a breast size of 34 double Ds, waist at a 38.7-inch waist, 40.2-inch hips, making at least $43,000 a year with 2 kids. That's an average woman. Now, my scale is, if you're below average on any of those, you got to go back through. So, you know what? I'm going to do another video with the scale, just probably like 2-3 minute video, just outlining the scale in itself. So, you're average at best if you're a white woman that's 5'4", 170 pounds, with a waist size of 38.7 inches, a hip size of 42 inches, 40.2 inches, with a 33 double D breast size, making $43,000 a year with 2 kids. You're an average woman. All right? And if you're below average on any of that, you don't get a point. And if you're above average, you get a whole point. And average gets 0.5. So out of all 10 of these categories, if you add them up, if you're above average in each category, you're a solid 10. If you're below average in each category, which how can you be? Okay. Just being not a white woman, you get a point. And if you work out, you get a point. If you don't got no kids, you get a point. It's kind of easy to get to be a 5 right off the bat. Yeah, shit, you got big titties. I mean, you got some C cups. And pretty much just got to do with weight and size. So you stay in shape. All you got to worry about is how tall you are and who your parents was and who was you born to. So I don't know. I thought that would be fun to do. I see I might got to go in and do some a little more investigation on how I'm gonna do that ranking. But I think it's pretty much right. So again, like and subscribe. And in this chess game of life, you're gonna need some OG moves. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year, 2022. So December, I would like to have 10,000 subscribers. I think that's a doable goal. Let's do it. Okay, so I'm gonna exit on my intro. Holla! I get it, I'm with it. I'm with it, I get it.